that the most complicated scene in that walking film that we made in New Zealand was probably when my character was on the side of the mountain, kind of, having been completely overtaken and ceased to really be himself anymore. Just, getting that right emotionally, physically, there's a lot riding on that. It's such an important part of the end of that character's journey for that to be palpable and for you as an audience to really feel what he's lost and what he's going through in that moment. So that, I just remember feeling a great deal of pressure, understandably, to make sure I got that right. And for both Sean Astin and I, because obviously that was really the two of us on that journey for a bulk of it, that was equally important for him as well. And I remember that day and kind of how we felt after the end of that day, feeling like I think we did it. But yeah, that was probably where I put the most amount of pressure on myself as an actor, just to get that, because it really is the end of his journey. Oh, and I don't know. I've worked with all kinds of people. I've been so fortunate to be doing this for such a long time. I started when I was 8 years old. I'm gonna be 43 next year. It's fucking insane. And I've worked with so many extraordinary people. I really genuinely only have great stories to tell. There have been a couple along the way that were less favorable than others, but I would never say it's my style is always to articulate only positive things and not spread negativity. So I've certainly worked with people that weren't as easy as others, but most of the time, I would say 98% of the time or more, I've worked with incredibly lovely people. And I've only ever really heard mostly, horrible stories from other people. My experiences don't necessarily reflect that. Shit, do you have to translate all that? Fuck! I did the thing that I said I wasn't gonna do! Sorry.
Je vais faire un peu plus rapide que lui, parce que je sais qu'on n'a pas beaucoup de temps. La première question, c'était qu'est-ce qui a été le plus difficile à filmer dans cette trilogie où ils font une rando avec un bijou. Et si vous vous souvenez bien, sur la fin, il grimpe sur une montagne avec son ami, et c'est un moment qui est plein d'émotions pour son personnage parce qu'il a perdu un peu, il n'est plus lui-même, il a été complètement dépassé par le bijou, et pour lui il y avait énormément de pression en tant qu'acteur pour faire justice à ce personnage et à ses émotions et avec le public. Et donc avec l'autre acteur qui joue son ami, ils avaient énormément de pression, et il se souvient encore du sentiment qu'ils avaient après avoir filmé ces scènes-là, de se dire j'espère qu'on y a vraiment rendu justice. Et on lui a demandé quelle était sa pire expérience avec un collègue, avec un autre acteur, et il a énormément de chance, il fait ce travail depuis ses 8 ans, et il a eu malgré ça que de bonnes expériences. Il a entendu des mauvaises choses de la part d'autres personnes, mais lui il a travaillé avec des gens super, et s'il y a eu des moments un peu moins bien, il ne veut pas s'attarder dessus.
Yes, I was familiar with the graphic novel, and weirdly, I had just read through all of the books, and in time for Robert Rodriguez to come to Los Angeles, he was coming through town. I'd worked with Robert Rodriguez on another film many years prior, where an alien invasion takes over a high school. I'm sure many of you have seen it. And he was just coming to town. So I had just happened to read them. I had no idea that he was planning on an adaptation. And over dinner, he mentions that he's working on an adaptation. I was like, that's wild, because I just read this and thought it would be amazing for someone to do this. And in my mind, it made more sense for it to be animated, just because you could more closely adapt this very specific work of Frank Miller's penmanship. Like those drawings are so iconic to the graphic novels. Anyway, long story short, I did audition. He had auditions for the role, and I just went to a hotel room where he was doing the auditions at this hotel in Los Angeles. And because there's no dialogue for my character, I just sat staring at the camera with glasses as he read passages from the graphic novel. That was my audition. There was no real preparation. Obviously, there's no dialogue. There wasn't enough time to do any physical preparation, because if there was going to be anything, it would have been sort of fight training, I suppose, because it's a very physical role. We shot all of my sequences in 2 days. Because there's no locations, there's no sets, it's all against blue screen or green screen. Mickey Rourke had already finished his work, so I was working with Mickey Rourke's stunt double. And it was all little pieces, and the thing is the graphic novel was our storyboard. You know, every shot that we would render in film was just a reference to what was previous. So Robert would just show me, like, this is the panel we're shooting right now, and I would understand what we were doing. So the prep was knowing the work, I think, more than anything, like knowing the graphic novel, understanding the character, and then on the day, just sort of reacting to what physicality I had. I mean, there was some wire work. I was, hung up on wires with kicks, and I remember hurting my back a little bit. But yeah, just 2 days. There was not a whole lot of prep. It was just kind of in and out, but so much fun, and delicious to work with a character that is so evil and doesn't say anything, and it kind of seems to garner some enjoyment by being eaten by dogs. Again, I'm sorry.